Ah, crashed satellite over there. Escape velocity. The new launch complex is far more advanced than any we built on Andromeda cars. Not only is it sleek and efficient, but it can also perform its function without devastating the surrounding landscape. Now that it has been tested and proven, our engineers would like to make some additional modifications. If we wish, they can add a dual launch protocol, increasing the size of our orbital network. Or they can install automatic production matrix, increasing the production speed of whatever we choose. It will surely benefit our orbital needs. Production will do for now. We'll need to build up forces fast if we want to prevent that fool from contacting Sakul. We aren't ready to face a fleet and a power of that size, I fear. Not yet. We cannot control the planet if we do not control the skies. But for this reason, the engineers will install an automated production matrix. By increasing our orbital production, we move one step closer to orbital dominance. Again with calling my army so small. I think she gets off on that. Cultural development. Social mores. Generate more culture. Yes, if we have riots, we definitely need to improve the cultural fabric of our society. I mean, this is unheard of. I really should have had more security troops back home. I was a fool. A mistake I will not make again. More comments about my army size. Have they all heard of those riots? Are they mocking me? Such mountainous and lifeless lands. Cold, dusty. It reminds me of Korriban when we walk these lands. Perhaps that is why the Force, or Destiny, whatchamacallit, drew us here. A successor to those times. Floating cost. With the left plant, our engineers are processing floatstone resource to retrofit our colony production and transportation vehicles and equipment. While there's a finite amount of floatstone available, our expert of engineers a way to use the excess tailings of floatstone processing into a usable material. The excess could be added back into production, or it could help power the plant itself by providing energy. Recycle it into production. We need to get a big military-industrial complex going. The purpose of processing the floatstone is to aid the production of our colony's operations. We should not complicate the role of the plant by adding a new process. We can always use more production.
智慧和财富是最好的分享物。
Very well. Hopefully, since we're not allied with the crude worker imperial anymore, we won't be dragged into another pointless war. Well then, our front shifts. We need to stop stop the Tyans from contacting the Ghoul. I do not know why they would want to join them, but I never understood most sycophants.
لدينا بعض الخبرة في التجارة.
Of course. Only you, the two of us, can rely on each other, my lady. Only the two of us. Camthon. I think it's only fair. You should work on our first air power. Work on heralds. Live up to the name of Iota.
The best way to survive a firefight is to be elsewhere when your enemy starts one.
What cowardly. That's funny. Bah!
Why waste your breath articulating a morality that was disproven with eloquence and foresight centuries ago on old Earth?
Indeed. What can we improve? Our battle suits. Truly inspirational figures on the battlefield, and some of our last human soldiers. Now we could turn them into evolved battle suits or prime battle suits. Let's make them an inspiration for all to see, the prime battle suit. Yes, an inspiration to all. And these are our new Lev tanks. A simple, solid design with incredible firepower. Hopefully we can field a few of them and send them towards the treacherous Tyan. And I will employ some of our new population and press them into worker duty. Now, mobile labs are a good start, but I think we can go farther. Work on nanotechnology. Through it we may upgrade our mobile labs to something even bigger.
저와 협력하신다면 큰 힘이 될 것입니다.
No. Until you give up this plan to contact our enemies, you are a threat to everyone on this world. A threat that must be stopped. Now then, it is high time we get soldiers in here to end these drone riots. Eidolons, prepare your production. With a military presence in the city, the rioting crowds slowly disperse. Good. They may have been violent, but it is clear their plight is real. And getting worse. Since the government controls the sale of drones, maybe something can be done. Opposing a regulation on drone usage, 1 worker per drone, could force businesses to hire back workers. Alternatively, we could turn the situation on its head. The higher unemployment rates means more potential entrepreneurs. The government could start a public service, giving new business owners free access to drones for a full year. Well. Well, I'm not fond to laying technology in bonds. but inspiring more hot spawn greed in our colony is not what I'm looking for, so limit the drone usage. The government created this problem, now it is our jobs to address it through regulation. Soon drone operations will be a required skill for employment everywhere. Let's build a facility to educate this new breed of laborers. Academies? Well, then we will have to do that. Keep a watch. No riots can be allowed again. We were the laughing stock of the planet last time. Let's see if we can steal the secret of those ruins out from under them.
1 और 1 11 होते हैं.
Hello, Jedi! It's strange to say it, but nice to see you. Yes, that works.
智慧和财富是最好的分享物。
Fine. Mistake by trusting them? Even the Jedi do not think we should trust them.
John Henry smiled at the crawler, and he said, "Sure, you can move a lot of dirt, but let's see who gets to the Mohorovich's discontinuity first." And he picked up his shovel and waited for the starting gun.
This is seemingly a giant builder droid. To work on truly epic works. Let's see, is it somewhere over here? It's too fully built to properly see it, but I'm sure it's there. Now, what's that about? The crawler. The rich mineral wealth of the new planet allowed engineers to attempt the construction of a scale that would have been unthinkable pre this leave. And it is this titanic scale of construction that best defines the optimism of that age. But even in an age of renewed interest in heroic infrastructure, few engineering works command the awe and respect that the crawler invokes. A crawler was a tool for building, yes, but its brilliance was that it was a tool that could remake itself for any given engineering task at hand. The chassis platform was formed from the heart of the crawler, housed a super efficient metallurgic furnace, heavy robotics machining shops, triaxial precision tooling works, and the crew quarters. The superstructure was fastened with gantries, platforms, booms, cranes, excavators, drilling rigs, most of which were built within the crawler itself. Watching a time-lapse holo of the crawler in action invokes a feeling of seeing a great beast grazing upon the planet itself, growing and retracting massive spines and plates of steel from its beryllium carapace. Sounds beautiful. The projects undertaken by the crawler and its lists of records are most impressive. The crawler laid the foundation for Xenomalium, bored the deepest, most efficient geothermal wells, many of which are still in operation today, and laid the Camino Paracoastal by itself in under a year. It marched to the front of the lines during the Tashi Station War. It turns out cavalry units which were sent to combat the front less than 6 clicks away. Crews reported that they could still feel the force of heat in the metal as they drove into combat. So a massive weapons and engineering machine. Glorious. We know much of the history of the crawler because its data logs were preserved with incredible care by the engineers who worked at it through history. Consequently, crawler dating has become a method whereby we simply seeing the crawler in a given configuration in the background of a still video is enough to corroborate the date and events of the depicted. The crawler's last act was to disassemble itself for recycling. The Gupta Harrison Medal of Guild of Engineering for exceptional contribution to humanity is stuck from sections of the tungsten carbide strut that form part of the chassis platform, as a reminder of engineering's great accomplishment in the craft. Well, I do not see why we need to recycle it anytime soon. Compensating for something? You... Ha! We plundered those ruins right under their noses. And we discovered more visions of a glorious future. Artifact discovered. Planes of dimensional influence. Large sheets of glass which form a window into other worlds. When peering through reveals a hazy image across fourth-dimensional space into another three-dimensional reality. Most scientists are at a loss for an explanation. We have left to speculate if these plans were used by their alien creators. This sounds like something the Gree was working on. Interesting. Can we use this somehow? Because we have meditations, we have listening to the earth itself, and now we have more soul discerning training, which we don't need, so no. Ah, and our people survived just fine. Oh, and look, an alien siege worm. I wonder if we should test our weapons against it. Now, the free affinity level up. I think supremacy will do.
Blessed are those that dwell within the machine, for theirs is true freedom from pain.
Maybe. Pain is a powerful motivator, though. That allows our artillery educate us. Ah, to be equipped with hover technology. Become ambassadors. Quite the useful tools to convince the enemy of the righteousness of our ways. Saber, ah yes. Artillery droid design. Mostly used for long-range war. It's kind of based off my Imperial Executioner design, though less impressive and more cost-functional. Now, I'm curious to test our fine auto sleds, the prime force of our army, and use it against these worms. Fierce battle, still, it is clear our auto sleds are superior. Ha! And he wants peace after he declared war to our fair lady. No, never! Die, worm! Some might have found the last moment of the beast's life repulsive, but as the purple and red gore rained down on us, I rejoiced that day. I am whole again. That's quite obsessive. Another crab. Shellfish is on the table again tonight, boys. First left tank done. Very impressive. A bit slow. Now then, excess health will contribute to culture. Or each city generates more science. Laboratory apprenticeship would be a good idea. A good policy to follow. Over or under. While our early dry docks were based off anchoring ships in bays and draining the water around them, recent research into the properties of floatstone suggests there could be a better way. A derrick could be built to elevate the vessel up over the heads of our workers, allowing much larger and much heavier construction gear to be used. However, the bays must have built are also widely used by commercial shipping. If we expand those bays, we could potentially support more projects along our naval construction that would benefit as a whole of the colony. Well, we are kind of over traditional naval works. Despite being our core, they're mostly now for defense, since we rule the waves. Oh, Lord Diar rules the waves, as they sing. So, let's expand our existing dry dock base. Our navy can only truly improve if the whole colony is supporting it. Sorry. Our navy can only truly improve if the whole colony supporting it thrives. The dry dock is helping everyone. Let's keep it that way. Indeed. Because that efforts can be turned more towards hover production. I think you can work on that benthic auger project. It seems promising if it improves production in coastal squares. Miasma is still a problem, even after all these years. So poisonous. I'm half tempted to say that we should weaponize it. We arrive at enemy lands and they can barely control the aliens rampaging through it. Pathetic. That must be why they are trying to cause a coup.
저와 협력하신다면 큰 힘이 될 것입니다.
You try to surrender after we have arrived at your doorstep? No. You are too dangerous to be allowed to exist. For everyone here on our world. I think I would love to work on armies. You are best used for great projects. So a Bitegeist will do, whatever that is. I think it's some kind of improved HoloNet surveillance system.
你来干什么？
We've cowered in fear long enough. We have cowered in fear long enough. Bend only before we break. Prepare for war. Brave. Very stupid, but brave. that is quite a punch they pack. Retreat for now.
I'm open to the possibilities.
Very well. Cooperating with him is much better than allying with him. Still, I thought this would mean peace with these purple fools, but perhaps I was mistaken.
Lord Diar, log entry number 13. Threats from the Titan hegemony are being contained. We have built and activated a great planetary shield that will block out all conventional transmissions, as well as ships trying to exit or enter orbit. The planet has been put into a quarantine status for all intents and purposes. I calculate the threat being that grave. I miscalculated the intent of Tiangong. I believe the simpleton was responsible for the constant conflict, but the purples continue their assaults against me. No more mercy will be given, they'll just waste it. It was very upsetting to see our people rioting in the streets like bums. I thought we were better than that. Our Eidolon droid armies re-established control just in time. However, I believe the people must be reminded and re-educated again to properly play their parts in our unity, in our great Imperial war machine. End of log entry.